Stages of Cognitive Development by Jean Piaget. Piaget has described 4 stages of cognitive development. These stages always occur in the same order. No stage can be skipped, nor its order can be altered. Moreover, every stage is more complex than the previous one because it is based on the previous stage. These stages can be described with reference to infancy and childhood. The first stage, according to Piaget, is sensory motor stage, second, pre-operational stage, third, concrete operational stage, and last one is formal operational stage. Sensory motor stage from birth to age 2. This stage is from the birth to the age of 2. Main achievement of this stage is object permanence or babbling stage. Sensory motor stage. This stage lasts from birth to 2 years. That is why it is also called the stage of infancy. The mental activity of the newborn is confined to only sensory motor actions at this stage. The early schemas of the child consist of sensory and motor action. The child is capable of only reflex actions in the beginning. Gradually, it begins to perform voluntary actions. The child repeats these actions only for the sake of pleasure. By the end of this stage, the child repeats its actions to see what they result in or what effect they produce. During infancy, the child forms a schema of only those objects that fall within the range of its sense organ. The child cannot build schema of the objects that are not in view because it cannot interact with what is out of sight. In other words, a schema is possible only to those objects that the child can interact with. At this stage, the child is not capable of conceiving the mental image of object or actions that cannot be seen. At this stage, thinking for the child is doing. The child becomes capable of forming image of out of sight objects by the end of this stage. Piaget calls this stage object permanence. When this stage ends, the child is able to understand that the object that goes out of view doesn't disappear or becomes non-existent, rather it remains in existence. Hence, when the child starts looking for its toys or other things, it is called object permanence. सेंसरी मोटर स्टेज ये पैदाइश से लेकर 2 साल तक का अरसा है। इसमें एक बच्चे की जहनी नशोनुमा उसके सेंसेस और मोटर एक्टिविटीज के थ्रू होती है। एक बच्चा बैरूनी दुनिया के बारे में जितना भी नॉलेज या इंफॉर्मेशन है वो अपने सेंसेस के थ्रू हासिल करता है और सिर्फ उन्हीं चीज़ों के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन लेता है जो उसके सेंसेस की रेंज में हो, यानी कि जो चीज़ें उसे दिखाई दे रही हैं, जो आवाज़ें उसे सुनाई देती हैं, जो टेस्ट उसकी ज़ुबान पर है, इसी तरह वो उन्हीं चीज़ों के बारे में मालूमात हासिल करता है जो उसके सेंस ऑर्गन्स की रेंज में होते हैं और वो ऑब्जेक्ट्स, वो चीज़ें जो उसके सेंसेस के साथ इंटरैक्ट नहीं करते वो उसके नज़दीक या उसके मुताबिक वो चीज़ें एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करती। लेकिन आहिस्ता आहिस्ता एक बच्चा अपने सेंसरी और मोटर एक्टिविटीज़ के बिहाफ पर बैरूनी दुनिया के बारे में जानना शुरू कर देता है। स्टार्ट में बच्चा सिर्फ एग्जिस्टिंग ऑब्जेक्ट्स के बारे में स्कीमा बनाता है, लेकिन बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस स्टेज वो इस काबिल हो जाता है कि ऑब्जेक्ट परमानेंस हासिल कर सके, यानी कि अब चीजों की गैर मौजूदगी में भी एक बच्चा उनके बारे में सोच सकता है और एक कॉग्निटिव मैप या स्कीमा बना सकता है। Second stage, pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years. Key features of pre-operational stage: centration, focus on only one aspect of a situation at one time. Egocentrism, child's inability to see a situation from another person's point of view. Symbolic expression, animism, belief that the animate object also has life and feelings. Pre-operational stage, child believes animism. Post-operational stage, child doesn't believe. Artificialize, believe that child thinks some environment components are man-made, for example, clouds. Irreversibility, inability to reverse the direction of a sequence of events. Pre-operational stage, as we know, this stage lasts from 2 to 7 years of age, hence it is also known as the stage of early childhood. The child has learnt object permanence by the time the previous stage ends. Thereafter, the child begins to understand the object, retain their identity despite various changes to them. Thus, children learn the concept of conservation and reversibility. For example, the child comes to know that if one glass of water is poured into the jug or a big container, it doesn't get less in quantity and changes in shape only. This concept is called conservation. The child also comes to understand that things can be brought back to their previous state. This concept is known as reversibility. That is, if the water in the jug is poured back into the glass will be refilled. If a piece of paper shaped into a plane, it shows to the child it is surprised. If the paper is unfolded, it shows surprise. When it manages to learn how to fold and unfold the paper or understand the concept, it is known as conservation and reversibility. The child begins to comprehend symbols. At this stage, it becomes capable of drawing, making excuses, and talking. It can repeat past experiences and imitate others. Children play games in which they pretend to be thieves, policemen, teachers, doctors, patients, etc. These games reflect this concept. At this stage, the child, while classifying things, takes only one quality of aspect of them into account. Piaget terms it centration, that is, the child calls everything moving on wheels a vehicle. Since the child at this stage cannot make allowance for others' point of view, it approaches or recognizes everything with reference to its own self. Piaget calls this process egocentrism.